Good morning. We are in Acts 13, verse 36, and we're going to be moving a little faster through this section. Verse 36, for David, after he had served the purpose of God in his own generation, fell asleep and was laid with his fathers and saw corruption. This verse tells us that Psalm 16 was not about David. David carried out his service. He died. Laid with his fathers means he was buried and returned to dust. Verse 37. But he whom the Lord raised up did not see corruption. Jesus died. He didn't return to dust, but was raised from the dead. Verse 38. Let it be known to you, therefore, brothers, that through this man forgiveness of sins is proclaimed to you. Now, Paul states the benefits of the resurrection, namely forgiveness of sins. Someone who has come back from the dead has conquered death, which is the curse for the sin of mankind. Verse 39, and by him everyone who believes is freed from everything which you could not be freed by the law of Moses. The word freed actually is the word justification. You're not guilty anymore. Romans and Galatians speaks of justification by faith. This word is not found elsewhere in Acts. The law of Moses couldn't free a man from sin. Verse 40. Beware, therefore, lest what is said in the prophet should come about. Here we go, another quote. He's talking to Jewish people. He's just quoting scripture after scripture after scripture out of the Old Testament. Passage comes from Habakkuk, a little tiny book, 1 verse 5. Remember, the first century church used the Old Testament to proclaim the gospel. And my question is, can you? Well, I said, I can't. Well, it's time to learn. Verse 41, look, you scoffers, be astounded and perish, for I'm doing a work in your days, a work that you will not believe, even if one tells it to you. Paul uses this passage to speak to the scoffers and heathens, saying he's going to do a work in their days. And from the context, it looks like he's talking about the downfall of Judah to the Chaldeans. But there's a deeper, unbelievable act that comes about. It was unbelievable that the Chaldeans would conquer Judah. But even more unbelievable is the work of the resurrection from the dead. So the Chaldean serves as a kind of a warning saying, you talk about impossible? God's specialty.